we're out enjoying the snow today because I don't know if we're enjoying it, but we are out here in it, and I don't have to have a glove on one of my hands because it is going to get to a balmy 36 degrees. With the wind chill, we've been in negatives. It has been very cold, and like the snow it actually used to be like a very nice soft snow, and it's all ice because the last week has been Arctic vortex. It's not been a very fun environment to homestead or have livestock in, but it looks like we're getting a warm up this week. That is the only thing. The Muscovies are not technically a very winter hardy duck. They are more of a tropical duck. You can just tell, like, they get a little wimpy. His feet are cold, so he doesn't really want to move a whole lot. But I've seen him moving around all day long throughout the day, so he's not too terribly upset or injured, are you, bud? Huh? You okay? See, you move. See, he's moving. He just wanted a nice dirt spot to go sit in, so he's just warming up his feet. But we're lucky enough that we do get some donations from local, I guess you would call it an event hall, where they over order for events. And a lot of times they have food that's about to expire, and instead of throwing these out, they give us a call, and our ducks and our chickens, and sometimes the goats, depending on whatever it is. If it's something we think the goats might eat, then they get a little extra forage in the winter time. It's so good for them because you guys can see there's the green, everything else is white. There's Mark. It's all white. There's not a lot of forage. They have a path built out to their pond area, and this is a big treat for them. So this has been a big blessing that we have connections like this, especially in the winter time when forage is slim for our duckies and they want a little bit of a variety. This is how we get variety, and it doesn't cost us anything. It's a win-win for both us and the commercial kitchen that does this for us. And you know, as homesteaders, all about waste not, want not. So we hate wasting things. We hate things going to waste and maybe not getting proper use. So this is just great that the kitchen can kind of feel good and probably write it off. I'm sure they write it off as a donation. They don't get in trouble. Write it off as a donation, and we get extra food for the birds in the wintertime. A lot of times in the summer, we get fresh fruit that's been cut up from the event hall. So then they get fresh fruit that's nobody else can use, but we definitely use it, and it makes our birds a lot healthier and happier. That's really what matters. Hi, Tahila. You're being friendly today. You're being friendly today, my blue-eyed girl. Hello. How are you? Come. Oh, that's why. Rex, let me enjoy when my girls come up and who aren't normally so friendly come up and they want attention. Oh, they're so sweet. Hello, Tahila. Hello, Tahila. Rex, seriously, you're cute, but you're not like goat cute. You're cute, but you're not goat cute. You're pretty amazing, though. You're an amazing dog. We have all the things going on out here today. We refilled minerals this morning. We put out this yummy molasses bucket that we only put out in the wintertime. I've just got them out here enjoying a little bit of a buffet in the wintertime that they probably won't see, but I don't know if you guys can tell, like, we are starting to get some thaw and drip. It's supposed to get almost to the 40s this week. I know that I keep saying it's super exciting, but when you've been in negatives for weeks and you've been just doing a little extra because the weather's not really trying to cooperate with you, you get really excited when it gets above freezing, because then it means that it might get a little bit easier. Now, I'll happily say goodbye to the snow, but it means I'm going to say hello to the mud. And while I know in the wintertime we become mud farmers, I am not a happy mud farmer. I'm very successful. Get lots of mud, but I don't particularly enjoy it. So I'm gonna enjoy the frozen ground and the above freezing temperatures thawing away the snow and watching the girls get some good forage. We've got some big pregnant bellies out here that I'm excited. We're the next kids. So this is, what is today? Today is like the 24th of January. And my next kids are due like February 7th. So I am gearing up. We'll be doing some sanitary cuts here shortly, getting everybody ready. And I'll show you who's the next to have some kids. Miss Rosie Rue here is the next one who is supposed to have babies. She is large and in charge. Anybody that's wondering, left side, lunch, right side, Rugrats. So this right here is where all her babies are hanging out. Then we've got Pinky right here, and actually Haley's right next to her. And you guys can tell, Haley is like super wide. It doesn't do her, this does not do her any justice, but she is she's a wide girl. I did ultrasound her for possibly 3, maybe 4. Now, Pinky is usually just a wide girl, and I think I only ultrasounded her for, drumroll please, one. But Pinky is starting to get older. So it's not uncommon for them to possibly not have as many kids as they normally would, because as they get older, we start thinking about retirement for them. She's still super healthy, so I don't really see any issues with her, but she's only ever given me twins, and I'm hoping this year, even if she's just got one, we could just do pink. If Pinky could give me pink, which if anybody's not been around, when I say I want pink, it means I would like a doeling. I would like a little girl from her. And I start getting a little subconscious about it too, because as they get older and they start to retire, and we think about just letting them live out their lives here, and you start to look at their genetics or their daughters from the past, it's one of those where I'm like, please just give me another daughter. So I have you in my herd. Even when you're long gone, I can still have echoes of your presence. And Pinky is super special to me. She's a super sweet doe. I really love her. She's always given me quality daughters. She milks well. She's a good girl. She'll be one that when she passes on, it'll be a long mourning process, because I feel I have a couple of heart or soul goats in my herd, and they always end up, I always end up having more than I probably should, but those are ones that you start thinking about when they're not going to be anymore. You just hope they have daughters to carry on all of those good parts of them. And that doesn't mean that they always give daughters that are exactly like them or have all of their good qualities, but I only have 2 daughters from her. Oh, actually I have 3. I have Uzi, I have Sky, and I have Sunny. But when you think that Pinky's probably 7 or 8 years old, and she's had a kidding every year of her life, that's not a lot of daughters. She usually ends up giving me a lot of bucks, and we know genetically it's not the doe's fault. She only provides one genetic. It's up to the buck whether they throw does or bucks over these ladies, but I just feel so blessed to have them, and I'm excited that we are getting ready to come out of this season, and we're getting ready to have more babies. Who can say no to babies? I mean, really, baby goats are the best. I always enjoy a good fall spring because it just lifts my spirits a little bit and makes me remember that spring is coming. The garden will be alive again. Lots of baby goats milking in shows, but for now, I am resigned to say that winter is still going to hold on, even with a few warm days sprinkled in. And while we're gearing up for babies, and I told you guys, I don't want June babies. Stifler with girls. I don't want June babies. I didn't want June babies. But this handsome guy's in here, and that's Barracuda. That's our new girl with Aurora, Twerk, and dun, 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 Grasshopper. Now, I thought Grasshopper might actually have been bred. And here's my reason why. I never paired her with a buck. And I was patiently waiting for her to come into season. And she never did. But then I realized when I had my sister-in-law, Ashley, over at the Willful Goat Farm and Home on her YouTube channel, I had Goose here to breed a couple of ladies. And the ladies that he was with were done accepting his advances. And he figured that stall wall, that gate, not tall at all. He jumped right over it. Mark looked out and he said, is Lunar in with all the girls? And I kind of froze, was like, no. He's like, there's a buck in the field. I realized it was Goose, and Goose had gotten out. He was done not being accepted by the ladies he was with, and he said, there's a whole field full of ladies. And I thought maybe before I got him out or realized that he was in there, that Grasshopper might have been in heat, and he may have bred her, but she gave herself away this morning. Grasshopper was acting a little buckish towards another doe that was in heat last week. So I'm like, I think you might actually be in heat. So I grabbed her real quick and threw her in here, and The package was delivered. The deed was done. The eagle landed. And I think I'm going to have another doe. In this lineup of 4 beauties, I should call them my golden girls. So I've got Grasshopper and the golden girls that are going to be giving me June kids. When I told you guys, I don't want June kids. They do not grow as well. But here's my conundrum. Okay, now hear me out. These girls are all first fresheners. One is a kid from 2024 who grew really great. I could probably still show her as a yearling for the first couple of shows before she starts looking a little large and in charge. But these other girls are going to be hitting 2 in March. Dairy goats need to be bred by 2. They need to be coming into a lactation by 2. Now, there are those one-offs where it doesn't work for other people. They don't really push it, but in a performance in a show home, it's really, really important that by 2, they freshen. Do you want to see them twerk? Twerky turkey? Barracuda just looking so content with herself. But they need to be bred. And I really want these guys to hit a show season in lactation if they seem like they're promising enough. And if I breed them, okay, so I swear I'm getting to the point. If I wait to breed them for fall, then they don't breed with everybody else for the next show season. So while they can go ahead and kid out in June, they could still hit some late July and August shows and be just fine and fresh and dandy. They're going to miss my linear appraisals. But if I were to breed them in fall, then they miss the next show season with all the rest of my girls. And then we are still looking at a first freshening udder and we don't know what to do. And we've put a lot more time and resources into them. So in order to know if they're going to fit into the breeding program and they're going to stay here, I need to breed them now. It is not what I wanted, but that's how it works. Livestock don't care about your plans. They ain't got no time for you. They ain't got no time for that. When they decide they're going to have babies or get out or die or get sick, like, it is on their time. It's not on your clock. So I guess these girls said, you didn't want June babies, but you're on our clock. And you know what? They're right. I am. All right. So the littles are getting introduced. We got Mr. Rex out here is doing really good. They're just out here milling around, seeing who is who. And the rest of the herd is being really nice about all of it. Except for him. He's a huge kid for his age. Like, he is as big as one of my Mayborns last year. And he is just almost 8 weeks. So he is a big feller. And he's as big as him. So he's out here saying hello, establishing. But this is good because nobody's like being too crazy. Nobody's being too mean. Rex is just really at ease. And then you got the littles. The littles who are trying to figure out what in the world is going on. I really needed to get some of this cleaned out. So I've got a lot of bedding that I cleaned out of the birthing stalls, and it's just been a little mountain of fun for the kids so far. So I have been really meaning to introduce these babies to the rest of the herd. It's good to get them started to be integrated in. I really needed to do it before, but I'm not gonna lie, guys, the weather has really cramped my style. It's been so cold. And with everybody sharing spaces, and they're like us guys, like when they're shut in, like with their family members, everybody gets stir crazy. They nitpick, they fight, they don't get out and do things as much as they should. And I want to make sure that we're in a good point where if they have to move outside for a minute to get away from angry neighbors, then that's just fine. It's not too terrible out, and they're all acclimated. So this is going really well. And Rex he's just real relaxed. He's more interested in me, but he's watching everybody, aren't you? He's more interested in seeing what they're doing underneath my 6-wheeler, which good, keep him. But he's looking at May, and he's been real calm. He's walking around real gentle. He's starting to get the hang of babies where they're not such a crazy thing for him. Oh, little babies, you say, we're stressed now. Where'd mom go? We're a little cold. And we still got sweaters on, but those will be coming off here this week because we're done with the negatives. But you can tell everybody's a little huddled and acting a little cold because they're out and they're doing their own thing, but they're starting to learn to body regulate their own temperatures, which is good. And the more they get out and move around, the more they'll keep their body temperature high, just like we do. All right, y'all, thanks so much for hanging out with me today while we experience a little bit of a fall spring after a very long cold spell. I hope y'all stick with me while we get ready to gear up to start our next round of kidding, and I'm happy that you spent your time with us here on Mulberry Branch Farm. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment, but we will catch y'all in the next one. We hope you are all staying safe out there, being kind to one another. God bless you. Bye, y'all. Can you sit? Oh, good boy. Does it go, fella? Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Yeah. What a good boy. What are those little things? What are they?